Jerry, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Dave. Good to see you again.
Now, your company began delivering electric vehicles to customers in 2018, and you've booked in excess of 60,000 pre-orders. What can investors expect in 2019?
Well, our first cars, like you said, have gone out over the last couple of years, and we have some customers who are over 10,000 miles enjoying their cars, trying to fend off people from wanting to buy their cars for more than they paid for them. 2019 is our watershed year. In a week, I'll be ceremoniously opening up our massive factory. We'll have 5,000 Solos delivered on the ground in Los Angeles in 2019. That's going to change the way traffic looks in LA forever, and that's a huge inflection point for our company.
What makes your cars different or better than the competition, and what's the typical profile of one who buys your car?
As an early adopter, it's primarily male, 40 to 60 at this point in time, but as you get them out there more often, it will be everybody. And what I use as an analogy is, back before the smartphones came out, it was just desktop computers, and people thought they couldn't use a smartphone because the screen was so small. Today, for most people, the smartphone is the primary computer. 83% of people driving by themselves, the Solo is perfect. And once you drive it, you love it. And that's the thing that makes it really different than anything else on the road today.
What are the price points?
One price point. We keep it really simple. It's $15,500, and it comes with a $750 mandatory air conditioning, because that's what people want. Power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, satellite radio. It's a premium experience in a car, full electric, for a really great value price.
And I can go to your website, I can order today with a very small down payment. If I place my order today, when will I receive the car?
Well, you have to place it soon. It's at emvauto.com. You put in a fully refundable $250 deposit. If you change your mind, take it back anywhere, you'll get it back instantly. We have 23,000 orders for the Solos right now, and 5,000 coming this year. I'm hoping to have all of the people who have put in their deposits handled by the end of 2020. And there's also a chance that if more orders come in, I can double our capacity for next year too and deliver even more cars.
Substantial revenue growth in the near term then. What's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in positioning in your stock today?
Well, you know, I look at things like the research in motion BlackBerry that people hadn't even thought of. When that took off, it took off big. When people look at micro commuting and you look at companies like Lime and Bird, those are scooters, and the valuations are through the roof on those companies. Here we have a vehicle that's one person, it's sealed, it's safe, it's gone through crash testing and everything, and it's a full electric vehicle. I think you can expect the same kind of value proposition with people driving the car, not spending money on gas, and getting a premium electric car experience at a very low price.
And how many miles will it run before you have to recharge?
So it'll go 100-mile range. That 83% of commuters, the most they ever do is 20 miles in either direction. So that's what we've targeted the vehicle at, as well as last mile delivery, as well as car share. So that's how far it goes. If you go 100 miles and it's completely discharged, it'll recharge in 3 hours, top speed 85 miles an hour. It'll get to 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. It's a fun car to drive.
How big is the market opportunity, both domestically and internationally? And again, you've given us some of the key features, but are there anything else about this car that makes it different than your competitors?
Well, air conditioning, power steering, and premium comfort, that's really a big deal. There's enough room for 6 to 8 bags of groceries behind you. So that's locked and sealed as far as you go with that. The market is 83% of Americans drive by themselves in a 5-person gas car. That's 140 million people potentially in the United States. Massive market. Asia and Europe are even bigger. So we're talking about a game changer, not just for North America, but for the world. And because the steering wheel is right in the middle of the car, you don't have to move the steering wheel to the right or to the left. It's right there. We can sell the same Solo in Indiana as we do in Tokyo or London, England. It truly is a world car.
And how are you, or who is manufacturing these cars, and what are your margins?
So our margins are 25%. That's what we have baked into the car. Industry standards in automobiles is 11 to 14%. We are the manufacturers, and we designed the car and engineered it to be like a Volkswagen Beetle for the 21st century. You can actually build the car with modern systems in between 2 to 3 hours. We have our first facility here in Vancouver, Canada. The second one, which we're opening next week, is in China. And we're exploring opportunities in Europe, the United States, Mexico, and India. The plan is to make the vehicles where they're required and to move forward from there. $77 million worth of vehicles delivered this year. It's going to be an exciting year and a watershed year for our company.
That's a big number. $77 million worth of cars delivered this year, 2019. That's actually very significant.
It's not really that big of a number in the car industry. 5,000 cars, 20,000 cars. What is significant is the type of vehicle, a one-person car, because it is so amazing to see it nimbly splitting lanes, parking where other cars can't park. Not only is this going to drive sales volume for our company, it'll also probably force a lot of other car companies' hands, like Toyota, Tesla, Volkswagen, to manufacture a similar vehicle when our demand for the cars take off. I've always said, when you look at the Solo, and especially when you drive the Solo, this is the car that Elon Musk wishes he were building.
Well, management plays a key role in a company's success, Jerry. Tell us about some of the key players on your team.
Our company is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. Founded in 1959 in Turin, Italy, in Vancouver since 1981, building thousands of cars, like the car that you see in the Top Gun movie by Kelly McGillis and Tom Cruise driving. That's our car. So we have 60 years of history of turning a profit, being viable going forward. And the Reisner family, Henry Reisner, who you've met, still our chief operating officer, knows how to build cars. We've got a great team as far as governance, financial. The factory that we have, just our next big factory, is operated by a company that produces 4,000 motorcycles a day. So as far as scaling up to meet most kind of demands imaginable is there as well too. So decades of experience focusing on this very innovative, disruptible form of transportation.
To recap, Jerry, what's the main takeaway? Why should other investors take an interest in your stock today, Jerry?
If you believe that there's a concern for people about the environment, if you believe that, this goes into that basket of stocks. If you believe that people want their next car to be an electric car, this should go into that basket of stocks. If you believe that cost is a hindrance for most people to get into an electric car, then you actually nail it right there. $15,500 for an electric car that you can have as your second car, leave the Range Rover at home, whatever, and drive this one in. You've got the most cost-effective value proposition for somebody to buy their first electric vehicle for commuting.
Jerry, makes a lot of sense to me. Put it in your portfolio, hold it long-term. Big things coming. Jerry, thanks so much for being with us today.
My pleasure, Dave, and I look forward to doing it again in 6 months for an update.